Hey boys and girls, my name is Tom Hates and I want to introduce you to a new kind of video tutorial series. I want to focus on one particular technique, tool, let's say anything that can help you out within your own productions and that maybe can, spice up your own creativity, your own stuff that you want to get out. Maybe you're always been looking for something specific, like specific sound or whatever. And that's actually the purpose of this complete series. So I really hope you can enjoy these ones. It will be small videos, not the long ones that I did before. So it's gonna be only a couple of minutes. Feel free to, first of all, subscribe, of course, to the channel. And don't forget the notification bell thing, that you can have in your mail as well. Some new videos that are uploaded. And next to it, just comment below with your questions, with your add-ons, maybe your remarks, maybe I forgot something, I'm also only human, so let's just help each other out. I love to learn some new stuff from you guys as well, so just feel free to comment out. I'm a very open guy, so without any further ado, let's start with the first one. I want to kick off with something which is called phantom distortion. Phantom distortion is, let's say, a technique that can be somehow compared with over-compression stuff, where you can really have this more aggressive, gritty kind of sound for your percussions, for your hi-hats, for your rides, for whatever you want to get through it. What is it actually doing? It's nothing more than kind of cancelling out using phasing techniques, where you want to only focus on one specific element to get it a little bit more in your face, but we do this by using plugins like overdrive or saturation or stuff like this. We cancel then, for example, in our case, in our example, we cancel out the kick. Why? Because we don't really want to have the kick in the final result, but we still want to have the influence of the kick on the sound. So let's start. First of all, what we need is, in our example, I'm going to start with a kick. In Ableton, they really have some nice 909 sounds, as well as of course, the typical kick. So let's start with a kick. Let's put in a basic pattern, which you all guys know, the 4/4 floor thing. Let's remove some other stuff. Let's crank up the tempo. Yes, perfect. This is more like techno. And then next to this, what I want to have is, for example, let's say a ride, typical 909 ride. What I want to use, it can be anything. You can use percussion, some toms, some snares, some rims. You can use combinations of stuff. You can use your own samples. It doesn't matter. It's a technique what is especially interesting here. So what are we after? First, let's put a basic pattern as well. Just lower this a little bit. Let's put this a little bit higher, and maybe I can even move it slightly forward like this. Up. What we have until now, nothing special. Let's have a listen. Okay, this is pretty basic. It's okay, but we can get it a little bit further. Let's first of all crank up the kick a little bit more, that it has full velocity. Okay, perfect. And now what we need is actually, we need to group this one. Why? Because we're gonna put some overdrive, some distortion, some whatever you want to put on it, on the complete group. Why? Because in the end we're only interested in actually cranking up the ride, that it has a more aggressive sound, maybe even more smeared out, what is typical for a distortion. Let's put on the Ableton stock one, and let's have a listen and just tweak whatever you want, but just focus on the ride. Don't focus too much on the kick, because it will probably completely mess up your kick, but don't worry about this until now. So let's go. let's say in our example, this is the thing I was really after, this is the sound I wanted to have, fantastic. So you can use any plugin, even combinations of plugins, doesn't matter because it's on the group. The only thing we're after now is, now we need to actually cancel out this kick because it's not the thing we're after. We're actually only after what the sound of the ride is after grouping, after distortion, with the influence of the kick, the kind of over top on it. So what we do is we duplicate this track, we group it, and on this group let's put on a utility, and those two buttons, as you can see, it's a kind of face button, the icon is a face thing. We can invert the face of this group, which is exactly the same kick as we had before. So if we listen without, it just doubles up the kick. But that's not what we're after. So let's click on both left and right, and if we listen now, the complete kick is gone, which is fantastic. That's what we're after. But still the right has the same influence, and you can still hear a kind of pumping effect because of the kick. So the only thing we need now is, let's add an additional audio track, and then we're gonna resample the complete thing, and then we have a really nice audio clip with a really aggressive, nice techno ride. So and now you can delete the whole thing and you have your ride. And as you can see, it's really smeared out, but it's the really nice pumping effect where you literally feel that it needs a kick on specific places, and it's really the thing we're after. So that's what we need. You can even, if you really zoom in, you can even see that it kind of dipped and then started again based on where normally a kick should be, and that's what we're really after. So use this, be creative, don't only use this with a kick and a ride. Just, you know, let your imagination go through and just try out some phantom distortion. See you next, guys.